Hank, Fred, and Sandy sit at a table near the middle of the room. They are dressed in clothes that indicate geekiness. Judging by the conversation they're having, they've been engaged in a heated debate for some time.
I can't. I just can't with you. It's like talking to a mental patient who's deaf and in a coma.
I don't get why this is so upsetting to you, man. You liked the Watchmen movie, right? And 300?
Yeah, so?
And why are you offended that Zack Snyder used his filmmaking skills, which you just admitted you enjoyed in the past, to remake Dawn of the Dead?
Because it's a cop-out. It's lame. It's pathetic. It's Kevin Seward.
When he first appears, Kevin looks exhausted. However, upon seeing this trio, his face immediately brightens. It's easy to see why. Out of everyone he has met tonight, this crew seems to be the most like him. Kevin makes his way around the table, shaking everyone's hand.
Hey, Fred, Sandy, Hank, what's going on?
Right now, we're trying to flush the Kool-Aid out of this man's system so he stops having such awful taste in movies. He has been sitting here for at least 10 minutes, singing the praises of the sacrilegious Dawn of the Dead remake.
You have yet to explain what's wrong with it.
First, let's state the obvious. Romero got it right the first time. Second, the original had an underlying current of social satire, which your buddy Zach left out. Why didn't he include it? Think that we were too dumb to get it? Fuck him. And third, he didn't even find a way to make the movie his own. I mean, all he did was speed up the zombies and raise the gore quotient to appease all the mindless idiots who flock to see the next Eli Roth torture porn flick. No self-respecting horror fan would say Snyder's film equals Romero's.
I'm not saying it equals it.
Whoa, no, you don't, you dare, you not.
I'm saying it's better.
Hank jumps to his feet and paces back and forth in an agitated manner.
I can't believe you just said that. You are a heretic, man.
You feel that way only because you're a fanboy.
Oh, like hell I am.
Oh yeah? Let's talk about a different movie then. Let's talk about Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Oh, shit. He's got you there, Hanky.
Oh, wait, I'm missing something. Why does invoking the title of the first Harry Potter book and movie mean you got him?
Okay, so we all went to see Sorcerer's Stone together, right? When we came out of the theater, Sandy and I were gushing. We couldn't believe how faithful it was to the book, how accurate the casting was, and so on. Only for Hanky Panky here to tell us he didn't know what movie we went to see because the one he watched wasn't faithful to the book at all. When we asked for an example, he gave one. Want to know what it was?
Oh, believe me, I'm all ears.
You tell him, Sandy. I'll crack up too much.
All right. Brace yourself, Kev.
Mm-hmm.
This man stood on the sidewalk outside Crossgates Mall and said, "In the book, Harry and Ron met Draco on the train, but in the movie, they didn't meet him until they reached Hogwarts."
Okay. And then what?
And then nothing. That was the beginning, middle, and end of his argument. Now tell me, what say you to that?
I don't mean to offend you, Hank, but if that example was a punch, it wouldn't knock out a 5-year-old. In other words, it's weak.
Thank you, Brother Kevin.
Well, not so fast. Let's hold on now. In Hank's defense, I think sometimes changes to source material can be acceptable. Even big changes, if it makes sense. Let's see. Like, take the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, for example. In those movies, the webbing came right out of his body. In the comics, he had to make his webbing through some unspecified chemical process, and then he had to shoot it out of web shooters. Spiders don't have web shooters. You know, and then the comic never bothered to answer several questions that raised, like what chemicals exactly did he need? Where did he get them? And probably the biggest one of all, where would our constantly broke hero, excuse me, I already said that. How would our constantly broke hero afford them? So in this case, the movies made more sense than the comics. Well, am I right?
Fred turns to Hank. After a brief silence, both men stand up.
You want to go upstairs? The judging for the ugly sweater contest should be starting any minute now.
Yeah. Not to mention the 50-50 raffle. Take care, Kev. Don't hurt yourself.
What the hell's that supposed to mean?
They exit without a reply. Kevin looks at Sandy.
I'm going to go too.
She heads toward the stairs. Kevin moves away from the table, wandering aimlessly. Before she leaves, Sandy looks back at him.
Hey, Kevin,
Yeah.
I agree with you about the webbing.
She couldn't have said that while the others were here? So they could have seen someone agreed with me? That's a trick question. Obviously she couldn't, or she would have. She didn't want to be alienated like me, but I can't hold that against her. Most people aren't brave enough to say how they really feel. They'd rather be phony than lonely. But as for me, I'd rather be alone now than find out X amount of days, weeks, months, years later that my life was a lie. Like I did with Lucy. But you know what? I don't want to dwell on that right now. For now, I want to dwell on happy memories. Or at least try to. You know, I mean, there'll always be time for sadness later. And that's because there's one thing I learned about life. It's that there's always time for sadness.